Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So today I want to talk about how failure helped me grow as a person, as an entrepreneur, and as a real estate investor. So for me, looking back, anytime I had a major failure in my pharmacy career, from getting fired to getting laid off, I have videos talking about both, so check that out. It basically opened up a new opportunity for me that ultimately ended up being better for me in the long term. So when I got fired from Walgreens as an intern, it made me realize that I didn't even like retail pharmacy, and that's when I dived into hospital pharmacy and really enjoyed my time and still do working in a hospital pharmacy, eventually elevating myself to a regional director of pharmacy and been in kind of pharmacy leadership in a hospital position since. So thanks to me getting fired from Walgreens, it kind of lit a fire underneath me to get a hospital job and to get a job that actually fulfilled me and would utilize what I actually learned in school, and kind of not be a pill counter behind wearing a white coat counting pills at a retail pharmacy dealing with insurance. Like, that was just not very fulfilling for me. And I would consult patients, but half the times or 90% of the time they just want to get their drugs and get the hell out of there, right? Like that's why people go to Walgreens or CVS. They might buy some cigarettes, some candy, and get their drugs and get pissed off at you if they have to wait 30 minutes for you to resolve insurance issues. So for me, that wasn't very fulfilling. I'd rather work in a hospital where I use more of my clinical knowledge, work with doctors, work with nurses. It comes a different headache, but I'd rather deal with that headache any day over working at like Walgreens. So thanks to that event, it made me go down the hospital pharmacy route, which worked better for me financially because hospitals pay more than retail pharmacies. I said in my videos before, but retail pharmacies might average upper 60s, low 70s, but hospitals average low 80s to 90s. And if you're in pharmacy leadership, then you're well above 220K, right, in terms of your salary, your Monday through Friday. And you learn more, you get more exposure, you can see how you directly help patients, right? It's a little more fulfilling in that aspect. So thanks for me getting laid off or fired in Walgreens, it pushed me to the hospital route where I've been most of my career now, and don't regret that, because most people who work at Walgreens, CVS, they burn out, they hate it, and they try to get into hospital jobs, and at that point it's too late. You lost your skill set. People would rather hire new graduates versus somebody who's been in retail for 5 years, because you might have forgotten your clinical knowledge and you forgot how to think more clinically when assessing medication orders, right? That's not everybody, but I'm just saying generally speaking, right? So there's outliers, there's exceptions to all this. So thanks to that hardship, I ended up getting paid more and ended up getting paid better jobs, and now I'm in leadership positions, right? So I literally went from being fired as an intern. People thought I was shitty. I thought I was shitty, probably was shitty in retail, right? And then from there, I ended up becoming a regional director of pharmacy over 2 hospitals, in a matter of 2013 all the way up into 2019. So over 6 years, right? So that, had that motivation and drive to pursue higher positions, to better myself, to pursue excellence, and really push my limits, right? So thanks to me getting fired, it opened those avenues for me. When I got laid off, it helped me improve because it shared my identity as being a pharmacist. Like I said, I was a regional director of pharmacy, moved to Southern California to be with Christine, my fiance, now fiance. And, from there, I was just like, oh my God, I feel like I did everything right. I poured myself, my heart, my soul, everything, 110% into hospital pharmacy. And I was laid off during COVID, right? And many factors, maybe boss didn't like me. Maybe I was a shitty worker and I didn't know I was a shitty worker. Hospital wasn't doing well. Maybe it's easier to lay me off because, I'm a younger guy, whatever, right? I got laid off and my identity was shattered for whatever reason, right? Doesn't matter. And end game was I got laid off, right? And, from there, I shattered my identity as a pharmacist. And that's when I pivoted to becoming a real estate investor, to becoming an entrepreneur, right? And I needed maybe that shock, that slap to motivate me to buy more real estate. I ended up buying 2 apartments in a mobile home park. I ended up starting a pharmacy business. I ended up starting an Amazon dropshipping store. A lot of it failed, but it helped me grow as a person, right? Like I upgraded my identity outside of being a pharmacist to being an entrepreneur, to being a learner, to being growth mindseted, right? And to always pushing myself, pushing my limits, trying to make more money. So it's thanks to me getting laid off, I went down that whole entrepreneurial road. And now today, scaled 52 units, $6.2 million net worth, I think. And now I have all these tools and skill sets that can help me buy more real estate, right? You know, my mobile home park, which I sold for a loss and I failed, you know, that taught me to focus, to just stay in my lane in terms of real estate, to stay in residential real estate, 1 to 4 units in Huntsville, Alabama, to stay in my lane of small apartments in Oklahoma, and just to continue to scale both of those over time slowly, right? Because I have the skills, I have the system, I have the team, I have the knowledge, I have the unfair advantage. So it's easy for me to scale in those areas, right? It's easy for me now to scale in those areas, much easier compared to before. Because I'm not starting from scratch. With mobile home park, I'm starting a new area, new asset class. I'm starting at zero. Why do I want to start from zero? I'd rather start at like 60, right? Why not start at 60? So because of that, I'm now focused. I don't want to do self-storage. I don't want to do triple net. I don't want to do short-term rentals. I don't want to do midterm rentals. I'm just focusing on one thing, right? So that's what my mobile home park taught me. My pharmacy business, what did that teach me? It teaches me that partnerships are hard, right? Like people will cheat you, people will lie to you, they'll say one thing, people will flake on you, right? It's all the above. We're humans, right? That's just human nature. So, you know, for me, it taught me that like in business, you want a business that has high profit margins, right? Like pharmacy doesn't have high profit margins, right? It's a tough business. It's a race to the bottom. But what has high profit margins? It's service-based businesses, right? So if you do coaching, if you do mentorship, if you sell courses, if you if you want to do like mowing lawns, right? Power washing, roof cleaning, like service-based businesses have high profit margins and low overhead, right? Like coaching business, you don't need an office for teaching, right? You can teach from home, right? You just need a room. For a lawn mowing business, you just got to buy like a couple of lawn mowers, some supplies, and there you go. You can start mowing lawns, right? And then if you get paid $100 a job and you can hire someone for $50 a job, there you go. You make $50. If you're a realtor, it doesn't have that much overhead costs as well, right? Unless you're doing extensive marketing. But you know, if you sell a home, you make, let's say $30,000, 3% on a $1 million property, let's just say in California. It's high profit margin, right? If you don't have an office and if you don't have like a large marketing budget, it could have high profit. So because of that, I pivoted where like I want to be in businesses that have high profit margin and low overhead expense, because I don't want to be stressed of like having to pay like $5,000, $4,000, $6,000 a month in rent, right? Like for me, I record my YouTube videos in my house, which I'm already paying a mortgage for. I'm living here anyways, right? So I like how it's low overhead and high profit margin. So like because of that, I don't like brick and mortar businesses, right? I want things that are like just low overhead, high profit margins, and that service-based business is typically what it is, right? Like look at plumbers, look at electricians. They just have a van and they just drive around and do their work, right? And they get paid like, you know, $150, $200 an hour. If you're a consultant, you can charge like $500 an hour, whatever, and have no overhead cost. Right? The hard part is just acquiring customers, but it takes less pressure off of you because, you know, you don't have huge overhead expense. If you had like 100 employees, you have a huge overhead expense, right? So you're forced to like buy more deals. With my Amazon dropshipping store, I learned that there's no quick money, right? There's no such thing as get rich quick, right? It's get rich slow, get rich over time, get rich slowly and compound, and it's exponential. Right. And I've seen that with real estate, you know, how it compounds. First year, bought a property, waited a year and a half, bought my second property, waited a year and a half, bought my third property, waited another year and a half, bought my fourth property, waited another year and a half, I bought 80 units all of a sudden. Right. Same with my stock portfolio. Not much growth for the year one, not much growth year two, year three, exponential growth, year four, exponential growth. Right. Net worth as well. To get to that first million in net worth might have taken me like, I don't know, like 5-6 years. And just this past year in 2024, my net worth went up by $1 million. I did nothing because I have all these assets that are compounding, right? So, you know, that just taught me patience, and like good things take a long time to happen, right? Just like social media. I've been posting consistently for about 2.5 years now. I'm just crossed like like 5,500 subscribers. But man, like it took me like probably, I don't know, 2 years or a year and a half to get to 1,000 subscribers. And in literally 1 month, I got 1,000 subscribers, or I got 2,000 subscribers in like a month, right? When it took me like a year and a half to get my first 1,000. So that's what I mean by compounding, right? Compounding, be consistent and slowly improve over time. So yeah, that's what it taught me. So every bad thing that happened to me ended up teaching me a lesson and ended up leading me to a place that helped me grow exponentially. So with that being said, in the moment, yeah, it does suck to get fired. It gets sucked to get laid off. It does suck to have a bad partnership. It does suck to lose money. But big picture, when you zoom out, like that's the greatest thing that can happen to you, right? I would never take back anything that happened to me if it helped me develop to who I am today. Like if you told me after I got fired from Walgreens when I was 23 years old that, you know what, Steven, this is going to lead to you becoming a pharmacy director, owning a lot of real estate, and having a high net worth, I would say I would do this every day. I would get fired every day from Walgreens if I could, right? I would get laid off every day if I could, if this is what the growth is. So, and why I'm sharing this, because if something bad happens to me now, like I know it's just another opportunity opening for me for further growth, for further expansion, right? Like things happen for you, not to you, right? I'm not really religious, but there's a higher power that's guiding you towards what you want to do, right? Like I said, at Walgreens, I had a bad gut feeling about it. And that was a higher power telling me, Steven, this is not for you. There's something else better out there for you. When I got laid off at Orange County, I was getting too complacent because it was an easy job. And I was just really enjoying life in Orange County. This was a period after my mom passed away. So I was just detoxing, de-stressing from that and grieving over that. But the higher power is saying, you're getting too complacent, Steven. We want you to push yourself. So got laid off, and that's why I went to real estate. And then in real estate, when I thought I was a hot shot owning 9 units of real estate, I bought a mobile home park, thought I was cool, thought I was like sexy. Like, yeah, I own 2 apartments. I own a mobile home park. I own a business. Cool, I sound great, right? On paper, I sound great on YouTube. Yeah, the 2 of the businesses that I tried, they failed. My mobile home park, I lost money. I got humbled. And then the higher power saying, you know what, Steven, your money's gonna be made in residential real estate in Huntsville, Alabama, and apartments in Oklahoma. That's it, right? So stay focused. Don't lose track. So I guarantee you, me losing $100,000 on my mobile home park is gonna make me way more money because it gave me the clarity to just focus on Oklahoma and to focus in Huntsville, Alabama, and that's it. That's gonna make me way more than $100,000, right? So that's the price I have to pay. That's the stupid tax I have to pay in order to go to the next level. Right? I have to pay $100,000 in stupid tax for my mobile home park to make way more than that with apartments, with my next apartment in Oklahoma and my next single family homes in Huntsville, Alabama. Right? I had to get fired to pay my stupid tax at Walgreens to realize I want to work in a hospital. I have to get laid off and pay my stupid tax there to realize I need to do something else. Right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket in your W-2. Right? So things happen for a reason. And it doesn't matter, can you get back up from this downfall? Like I know a lot of people who got fired or laid off like 5 years ago, and they're still struggling today, right? Because they cannot get back up. They're still paralyzed by that one event, right? And still frustrated about that one event. But don't let that one event define you. Let that one event define who you're going to be, right? That's the mindset I've always taken, right? It's not about how hard you can punch. It's about getting punched and can you get up, right? That's really it. Can you get up? And for me, I always got up. And looked around and learned, like, what can I do differently to prevent this from happening ever again? After getting fired, you know what? I never want to work in retail pharmacy ever again. I want to work in a hospital. After getting laid off, I said, you know what? I never want to depend on just one income ever again. So now I bought real estate and built wealth that way. After losing $100,000 mobile home park, I said, I never want to go through that stress again. I never want to go through that depression again. I never want to go through that anxiety again. I don't want to stress out my fiance again. So just focus on what you're already doing well in, which is apartments and not mobile parks, but single family homes. Just keep on doing that, right? So it's these things, and I'm sure things will happen to me too, right? Like maybe I'll blow up on YouTube and people try to cancel me. I don't know, right? But like whatever that next chapter is, it's happening to you, not for you. It's happening for you, not to you, right? And in a weird way, as I've built more success on like YouTube, as I built more success in real estate, you get more haters, you get more critics. Because you're somebody worth criticizing, right? It's like you don't want to criticize like someone at rock bottom, right? Maybe you could, but you kind of feel bad, right? Like if, someone's homeless or like they just got fired and they're rock bottom, I can't really criticize them. You kind of want to root for them. But then like once that guy got fired, all of a sudden becomes worth millions of dollars and has a large social media following, now you want to criticize him. Like, oh, you got lucky. Oh, you must come from a rich family. Oh, like you're lying, right? Like it's just the way it is. Like as you become more successful, people will hate on you because it makes them feel bad about themselves, right? Like just like, like remember the people you grew up in high school, right? Like they saw you when you're some awkward teenager, shy, maybe not the smartest, and then like that's just how they remember you. But if like fast forward 20 years later, you own a lot of real estate, you have a successful job, you're worth a lot of money, have a net worth, built a nice business, they're just like, what? How'd that happen? Right? I just remember like little Steven over there. He's this shy, awkward guy, right? So like that's how people remember you. And then all of a sudden it makes them feel bad. Like, oh, I feel kind of inferior by comparison because I felt I was smarter than him back then, but now he's doing better than me. But they don't see that 20 years of work that person put in, right? So, that's really it. Like when people, like when you get bigger in social media, like my videos have done the best, right? Like my video that I talk about getting fired at Walgreens did the best. I think I got like 70,000 views. And before that, my best video was like 20,000 views. But when you get videos that get that many views, about maybe 80% are nice comments, but you have 20% of people just shit on you, right? They talk about like, oh, you suck at your job, that's why you got fired. Oh, you're so negative. That's why, people, when you're that big, people hate on you. Like, think about being the president. Like no matter what president it is, half the people love you, half the people hate you, right? Because they're someone worth targeting, but big picture, I mean, these are successful people, right? Somehow they became in this position, and there's only one of this position in the US, right? So, like people who are worth criticizing are usually high up there, right? Like, there's a lot of people like Andrew Tate, he's very controversial, but he's up there and people criticize. So it's just like, if you're someone worth criticizing, like that means you kind of made it in a weird way, right? Like if someone's shitting on you, hating on you, you're doing something right? You're becoming more successful in a way, right? Like, like there's like this interesting story, like, like when you're at the bottom, you're the underdog, people are rooting for you. Like, oh my God, like I'm rooting for you, Steven. You're at rock bottom, you got fired, I'm supporting you. And then all of a sudden, once you're doing better than them, they're like, oh, well, screw you. You got lucky. You have connections. Like once you do better than them, now they start hating on you, right? So that's why I said, if people start hating on you, it's because you're doing better. You're on the right track. Like actually, that's an indicator. Like I know a video is doing well when I get people hating on me, because that means that it's doing better, right? And when you have a lot of views, yeah, you're gonna get haters. It's just percentages and nature of it. So to me, at first I was confused. I'm like, why are people hating me as I sharing how I bought real estate? But then I'm realizing that, yeah, they find it annoying because maybe they want to buy real estate but they can't, or they're stressed about money, and it's just usually a reflection of them projecting onto you, right? And like I said, I'm just trying to share my knowledge for others to learn, for others to benefit from that. I wish someone taught me. And yeah, by me sharing, yeah, it puts me in the crossfire where people hate me, right? Or hate on me, call me trust fund baby or all that. But if you know my journey, I'm self-made, right? Like, I came from a middle-class family, fortunately, but like I work at W2 and I just bought a lot of real estate, and I made more money, spent very little, and then invested the difference over time, right? And did I get lucky? Probably, but I took consistent action, right? And by taking consistent action, it opened me up to opportunities of luck. And you do that over like a lifetime, that's how you build a lot of wealth, right? I could have easily just spent all my money on like fancy vacations, nice cars, going to nice restaurants, nice clothes, nicer vacations, but I didn't, because I wanted to like invest, and I wanted to build wealth, and I wanted to retire early, right? So in a weird way, if you want to become like the 99% or the 1%, you have to be willing to have 99% of people hate you, right? Like, and have 99% of the people misunderstand you on your wealth building journey. So, it's really, really key in terms of that aspect. So, like you said, like you're gonna go through failures, and then you're gonna overcome that, learn a lot, build wealth, and then people are gonna hate you, right? Welcome to path to financial freedom, and welcome to the path of building wealth, right? That's the path. You're going to fail hard, learn from that failure, hit it big, and then once you hit it big, everyone's going to hate you, right? So that's what I mean. That's literally the transparent, true, real talk of like wealth building. That's it. Like, that's why I don't really share much at work about my real estate, unless they watch my YouTube videos. But I don't really talk about it much unless they ask me, and I'll just kind of answer it like, generically, vaguely. But I don't really talk much about it. And people know they found my YouTube channel, but they don't really ask me about it, right? And I don't really talk about it, right? You just forget I own real estate. So, because I know, it rubs people the wrong way because people are struggling to buy their first house. And, this ass over here is talking about how he owns 52 units of real estate, right? So I get it, right? I get it. But at the same time, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing, right? I'll continue to buy real estate. I'll continue to share my journey. I'll continue to better myself. I'll continue to push my limits. I'll continue to pursue financial freedom. I'll continue to still do my W-2 job well, right? So that's really it. So anyways, just wanted to give you some insight as to what it's like to, fail and then, grow from that failure. I call it fail forward is the phrase I use. I remember when I got laid off, that was my catchphrase, was fail forward. I posted that on my screensaver. So I remembered that this failure is going to help me move forward, right? And from there, it's going to open new doors, new opportunities that are going to be better for you in the long term. Once you're going to look back and be like, thank God I got fired from Walgreens. Thank God I got laid off. Thank God I bought that mobile home park that I failed, right? Because I got back up and became better from it. So, just learn from your failures and get back up. That's the key. Don't stay down, right? I know so many people who they had a failure, they got laid off, and they stayed down for a long time, right? But just get back up. Just get back up and prove them wrong, why they should regret firing you, why they should regret laying you off, right? So that's kind of the key message of this. Anyways, thanks for listening to my rant. Let me know if you have any questions, comments. If you want to learn to buy multifamily real estate, I have a mentorship program down below. I also offer one-on-one coaching down below as well. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with somebody who is failing right now and they're on the cusp of finding the next great thing, right? And hopefully this will motivate them. But anyways, hope to see you next one, and thank you so much.